Hello and welcome to Fantasy Football by Ben. Today, I'll be doing my rankings for Week 10, starting off with quarterback 1 through 20, running back 1 through 25, just as it is every week. Alright, let's get right into this. First quarterback I have ranked is Kyler Murray versus the Bills. Kyler Murray was on a bye week last week, and coming off the bye week, I expect that they prepared for the Bills very well. And I expect Kyler Murray to do Kyler Murray things. He's run for a touchdown almost every game this year. Ran for 100 yards last week, or 2 weeks ago, and a rushing touchdown. So I expect Kyler Murray to do Kyler Murray things. Number 2, I have Aaron Rodgers versus the Jaguars. Jaguars' defense has been awful this year. Bottom of the league in passing yards allowed and rushing yards allowed. And Jaguars have not been able to stick with teams, so I expect this game to be a blowout and Aaron Rodgers to have a big week. Number 3, I have Russell Wilson versus the Rams. It's at Rams. And the Rams' defense has actually been very good this year, but Russell Wilson's been an MVP level. I mean, yeah, he had 4 turnovers last week, but Russell Wilson's a must-start every week, and you're starting Russell Wilson this week, even against a tough defense. Number 4, I have Josh Allen at Cardinals. Josh Allen is coming off of a phenomenal week last week, and Cardinals defense has been good this year, but I really like Josh Allen this week. I have my number 4 for a reason. I really like Josh Allen. I don't trust that Patrick Peterson's going to be able to stop their offense by himself or anything, so I have no worries there about Stephon Diggs either, so Josh Allen, I have at number 4. Number 5, I have Deshaun Watson at Browns. Browns' pass defense has been really bad this year. And in my bold prediction video, I said that the Browns are going to hold the ball a lot. But in the case that they don't hold the ball a lot and don't run timeout, Deshaun Watson, I have at number 5. I think he's going to be a great play. No matter if the Browns do run the clock or a lot or not, I think Deshaun Watson's the top 5 QB this week, going up against the Browns secondary that's been awful. At number 6, I have Justin Herbert at Dolphins. Dolphins' pass defense has actually been pretty good this year, and their defense in general has been pretty good this year. But Justin Herbert this year has been playing very well for a rookie, and not even just for a rookie, just very well in general. And so I like Justin Herbert this week. I have him at my number 6 QB. Number 7, I have Lamar Jackson at Patriots. Patriots last week gave up a lot of rushing yards to Frank Gore. And, I mean, the Ravens are the top rushing defense, or offense. So, I mean, if the Patriots can't stop Lamar Jackson in the run game, I think Lamar Jackson could have a big week. I have him at number 7. Number 8, I have Tom Brady at the Panthers. Tom Brady last week looked horrible. And if you played Tom Brady, I feel bad for you. But this week, I think Tom Brady will have a bigger bounce back week. I think he'll get a better connection with Antonio Brown, and then they'll look better. I like Tom Brady this week at Panthers. Carson Wentz at Giants, I have at 9. Carson Wentz this year has actually been very inconsistent. Some weeks he goes for 28, and then the next week he goes for like 15. And they had a bye week last week, but the week before that, Carson Wentz looked phenomenal. And then 2 weeks before that, he looked phenomenal. And then the week before, week before their bye week, he looked really bad. But the 2 weeks before their bye week, he looked really good. And so I don't know what kind of Carson Wentz we're going to get here, but hopefully it's the really good one. I have him at 9, hoping that it is the really good one. And the Giants' defense has been very mediocre this year, and so I like Carson Wentz this week at 9. Number 10, I have Jared Goff versus Seattle. Seattle's pass defense is horrible. Josh Allen lit them up last week, looked amazing. Jared Goff could do the same thing. I like Jared Goff this week. I have him at number 10 because I think that's going to be a really high-scoring game. And so I think it's going to be a shootout, which Jared Goff could do because he's got the arm for it, and their offense is good, and Seattle's defense is very bad. Number 11, I have Drew Brees versus the 49ers. 49ers defense got cooked last week by Aaron Rodgers on Thursday. And Drew Brees is getting his weapons back slowly but steadily. And so I like Drew Brees. I have him at number 11. I think he's going to be a great play. I have a number 11 against the 49ers defense that's not been amazing. Number 12, coming off my bold prediction, I have Tua. Tua is going up against the Chargers, and I mean, you could listen to my bold predictions this week on why I have Tua at 12, but I like Tua this week against the Chargers, and I mean, the Chargers, I said in my bold prediction video, they give the fourth most points to QBs, so I like Tua this week. I have a number 12. Number 13, I have Big Ben versus the Bengals. Big Ben looked pretty good last week, and he's really banged up this week right now. And I don't even know if he's going to play because of COVID protocols and if he tests positive anytime soon. But as of right now, I like Big Ben's matchups against the Bengals. And so I have him at number 13. And I like how many touchdowns he threw last week. He threw for 3, and he didn't even play for the end of the second quarter when they had the ball. And so, I mean, it's not a bad play. If you have Ben Roethlisberger, I have him at number 13. Right outside the top 12. Good QB this week. Number 14, I have Baker Mayfield versus the Houston Texans. Texans defense has not been very good this year, and Baker Mayfield is also on COVID protocols, and so he might not even play, but if he does play, I like Baker Mayfield this week. I have him at number 14. Texans defense has not been good, and I mean, yeah, Baker lost to Odell, but like people were saying, maybe he'll spread the ball around more, and he did 2 weeks ago, and he's getting Nick Chubb back, so I like his odds. Number 15, I have Derek Carr versus the Broncos. Derek Carr last week looked really good, and Derek Carr has been very consistent this year. I mean, most people are pretty underrating him, and I think number 15 this week is good for me. Maybe I'm underrating him as well, but I like his matchup against the Broncos. And I think it's better than some of the guys further down that typically would be ahead of Derek Carr this week. Number 16, I have Joe Burrow at Steelers. Steelers defense is very good, but Joe Burrow has had an extra week to plan for the Steelers defense. And so I hope that they're prepared, somewhat at least. And I hope that Joe Mixon's back to help out in the passing game for Joe Burrow, but this could be a really bad game for Joe Burrow. It could be a really good game. Steelers corners have not been great against wide receivers this year, so that's kind of nice to know. And so, but even like they get pressure on the QB, and Joe Burrow has been sacked the second most times this year, so this could be a bad play or it could be a good play. I have him at 16 anyways. Number 17, I have Ryan Tannehill versus the Colts, which is this Thursday. And that one I'm kind of worried about just because the Colts defense has been very good this year. But I do like the Tennessee Titans offense, so I have Ryan Tannehill at 17. I probably could move him further up. I could probably put him closer to Baker. But as of right now, I have Ryan Tannehill at 17. And I'm sticking with it because I'm probably not going to change it. Number 18, I have Cam Newton versus the Ravens. This one's interesting because the Ravens defense is very good. And I don't know how many of them are off of COVID or anything, because there was like 7 guys last week who all had COVID. And so it's going to be interesting to see if the Ravens defense, who all plays and stuff. But Cam Newton looked okay last week. I mean, he's not a great quarterback. He's not like a good, accurate throwing quarterback. He's more of like a mobile, you got to have no worries at all times. And he can get 2 rushing touchdowns like he did last week, and he could score like 25 points like he did last week. But, I mean, the only reason I have him at 18 is probably because he's a goal line threat, and if they get near the goal line, I'm pretty sure he'll be their guy that's going to run it in. Number 19, I have Daniel Jones versus the Eagles. Eagles defense hasn't been great this year. Their run defense is really good, but their pass defense hasn't been great. But I like Daniel Jones this week. I mean, if you need a quarterback to pick up because you have a quarterback on a bye, I would say Daniel Jones is not a bad option. But I would rather have someone like Baker or Derek Carr or Joe Burrow or Tannehill over him. Or Tua. And then at number 20, I have Drew Lock at Raiders. Drew Lock had a really great week last week. And the Raiders defense is a little bit worse, I would say, than who we played last week. And so, I mean, it's your call. If Drew Lock's available and you want to pick him up, go right ahead. I think he's a good start this week. I like him better than Matthew Stafford even if you're like streaming a quarterback because you need to pick up a quarterback because you have Matt Ryan's on a bye or I don't even know who else is on a bye, but if you need a quarterback this week, I think Drew Lock's a good quarterback to pick up this week. All right, starting with the running backs. At number 1, I have Dalvin Cook at Bears. Dalvin Cook has been on a whole nother level this year. Last couple weeks especially. But Dalvin Cook is a must start. Even against the Bears defense, who has been very good against the run, Dalvin Cook is a must start. Even if they held Derrick Henry last week to under 70 yards rushing. Number 2, I have Aaron Jones versus the Jaguars. Jaguars' run defense has been horrible this year. Horrible. Bottom 5 in the league. Aaron Jones, even though he didn't play a whole lot last week, still looked really, really good. And it's every week he's going to get better. And so I think this is going to be a big week for Aaron Jones. Number 3, I have Alvin Kamara versus the 49ers. 49ers run defense has also been very good. But Alvin Kamara is somebody you just don't sit. Alvin Kamara can catch you 8 balls a week. Easy. And, I mean, he's a big part of that offense, and he's a big weapon. So, Alvin Kamara is somebody you just don't sit anyway, so it doesn't matter who they're playing. Same thing with the next guy. Number 4, Derrick Henry versus the Colts. Colts defense has been actually pretty good against the run this year. Top 5 in the league. But it's Derrick Henry, and you just don't sit Derrick Henry, even if the defense they're playing against is very good against the run. Derrick Henry is a beast. He could go for 200 yards almost any game. I don't know why he wouldn't go for 200 this game, maybe, potentially. You don't know. I have Derrick Henry at 4 because, I mean, you're not saying Derrick Henry, so it doesn't really matter where I have him on here. Number 5, I have Nick Chubb versus the Texans. In my bold prediction, I had Nick Chubb finishing as the top running back this week, and I'm sticking to it. I like Nick Chubb this week. I have my number 5 because the Houston Texans are bottom 5 in the league against the run, and Nick Chubb is a beast. Hopefully he's fully healthy and he can run as well as he did before he got hurt, and so we'll see how that goes, but I like Nick Chubb this week. Number 6, I have James Robinson at Packers. Packers can't stop the run. They just need to figure it out. But James Robinson has been very good. And, I mean, if you have him on your fantasy team, good job to you. You probably didn't draft him. You probably picked him up. But still, nonetheless, great pickup. James Robinson's been great. Top 10 running back this year. Great pickup. And, I mean, with Lutton, last week he didn't get any passes, but, I mean, you never know. Maybe every week he changes, probably. So maybe he's talking to Gardner Minshew, and Minshew's like, well, you got to target him at least like 8 times this week or something. You know, you never know. At number 7, I have James Conner at versus the Bengals. Not at the Bengals, they're at Steelers. And Bengals have not been able to stop the run very well. I mean, they are getting some pieces, but they're also losing pieces. I mean, James Conner didn't look great last week, but I really like James Conner this week. I have him at number 7. At number 8, I have Josh Jacobs versus the Broncos. Broncos are very good against the run, and Josh Jacobs will still get 30 touches. So it's not like anything different, even if it is a good run defense. Josh Jacobs is going to get 30 touches almost any week, no matter what like the outcome is, if they're winning or losing. Josh Jacobs just gets touches. And that's just who he is, and that's just how they use him in that offense, and that's fine. That's great. I have my number 8. I like it. I like how they utilize him. Number 9, I have Miles Sanders versus the Giants. Giants have not been good against the run this year. Bottom 10 in the league. And I really like Miles Sanders if he's healthy. If he doesn't play, obviously you're not going to put him in your lineup, but if Miles Sanders is playing, I like Miles Sanders' matchup this week. I'm at number 9. Number 10, I have Kareem Hunt versus the Texans. I know I have Nick Chubb at 5 and Kareem Hunt's at 10, but if they do get far enough up in this game, I think they're just going to run the ball between the two of those guys, and so this could be a big week for both of them. And so I like Kareem Hunt at 10. At number 11, I have Chase Edmonds versus the Bills. Bills have been horrible against the run, but if Kenyon Drake plays, obviously that lowers Chase Edmonds a lot, but as of right now, Kenyon Drake's only participating limitedly, and I really like Chase Edmonds this week against the Bills defense that's giving up a lot of rushing yards to backfields. Number 12, I have Antonio Gibson at Lions. Lions are the worst run defense this year right now, and it's definitely because of Dalvin Cook, what he did to them last week when he ran for over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns, but Antonio Gibson, I like him a lot this week against the Lions. And I think he could have a really big week this week, potentially. At number 13, I have Mike Davis versus the Buccaneers. Sorry about that. Mike Davis, just like the Alvin Kamara thing where I said he could catch 10 balls, or I said 8, but he could catch 8 balls. Same thing with Mike Davis. Mike Davis, any week, could catch 8 balls. It's like Christian McCaffrey. Obviously not as explosive or as good, but as of right now, we don't know if Christian McCaffrey is going to play or not, and so I have Mike Davis at 13 versus the Buccaneers. He would be higher up, but Buccaneers defense is very good, and most likely Devin White's going to follow him around. If not Devin White, then it's Levante David, and they're both very good. Number 14, I have David Johnson at Browns. See, it's not a guarantee that David Johnson plays. He's in concussion protocol. But if he does play, I like him at the Browns, and I like David Johnson's upside every week. He's basically like their first and second down back, and he could be their third down back as well, but he got hurt, so we don't really know what's going to be the outcome of David Johnson this week. And same thing with number 15, which is David Montgomery versus the Vikings, also in concussion protocol, and David Montgomery hasn't been amazing this year, but hasn't been bad. I like David Montgomery's production this year, as most of you drafted him as a running back 2 or running back 3. He's been very solid. Not a high ceiling, but a very steady floor. I like David Montgomery this week versus the Vikings that haven't been great against the run this year. At number 16, I have Leonard Fournette at Panthers. Panthers are giving up the most yards per carry. Panthers' defense has not been able to stop the run, but they've been very good against the pass. I like Leonard Fournette this week, though. And I like him more than I like Ronald Jones this week because Ronald Jones cannot stay on the field for whatever reason. Maybe it's just Bruce Arians doesn't like him or whatever. But as of right now, I have Leonard Fournette way higher than I have Ronald Jones. At number 17, I have DeAndre Swift versus Washington football team. And I like DeAndre Swift's how he's running the ball. It's just a fact of if Matt Patricia's like, well, we're going to play Kerryon Johnson one drive, and then we're going to play Adrian Peterson the next, and then we're going to play DeAndre Swift, and then we're going to play DeAndre Swift the next drive. Because last week he had 13 carries, and he ran for 64 yards, and he had 3 catches last week as well. But it's just a matter of the fact that is Matt Patricia on board with giving the ball to a guy like DeAndre Swift? I'm on board with it. Is Matt Patricia, though. Number 18, I have Joe Mixon at the Steelers. Steelers' rush defense has been elite this year. And Joe Mixon hasn't been amazing, and he might be still banged up, and he might be hurt, and might not even play this game. But I have Joe Mixon at 18, expecting him to play. Maybe limited, so maybe that's probably why I put him down further, but also the Steelers' defense is something different, and I don't really like Joe Mixon this week, but I have him at 18 because Joe Mixon. You're not going to sit Joe Mixon, most likely he's your running back 2 or 1. At number 19, I have Chris Carson at Rams. Chris Carson's also a little banged up, and that's probably the reason why I don't like him either this week. Also, the Rams defense has been very good against running backs. And so, Chris Carson could be a good play. And, if he's the lead back there and if he's going to be playing on first, second, and third down, then obviously you're playing Chris Carson. in general, most likely he's your running back 2 or 1 even. Number 20, I have Melvin Gordon at Raiders. Raiders' run defense has not been good this year at all. And actually, they're giving up the second most rushing touchdowns per game. And Melvin Gordon is a great play, but also Philip Lindsay's kind of been in their backfield and kind of taking away touches away from Melvin Gordon, because otherwise he would be a lot higher on my list. So I'm at number 20, assuming that he's not going to be the whole workload for the Broncos this week or any week going forward. Number 21, also kind of the same thing as Darrell Henderson. I have a number 21, and I don't expect him to be the full workhorse because he's typically not there on third downs. They have Malcolm Brown in most of the time, and I don't know how they're going to use Cam Akers going forward, but I have Darrell Henderson at 21, assuming that they're going to use him like they have used him in the past. Number 22, I have Zack Moss at Cardinals. If you've noticed, I haven't said Devin Singletary yet. Devin Singletary is not on my list of top 25 running backs. Zack Moss is their goal line back. Devin Singletary has not looked good. And I like Zack Moss this week. I'm assuming he's probably going to get another touchdown. He's been their touchdown guy in the red zone because Josh Allen has not been running as much in the red zone, which has been good for them because it might help in the future of keeping him alive. At number 23, I have Jerick McKinnon at Saints. Saints are a very good run defense and pass catching running backs defense. And so I would have Jerick McKinnon probably higher, but again, I don't like the matchup this week, and I think the most people who are above him have pretty good matchups, pretty favorable matchups. Number 24, I have Jonathan Taylor at Titans, which is this Thursday. Titans' run defense has actually been pretty good this year. I mean, realistically, it's actually not been that good, but Jonathan Taylor has kind of not been their lead back the last couple weeks, and I don't know how I feel about him, but I'm ranking him at 24 because I'm assuming he's still going to get touches. And he gets rushing touchdowns, so he's got an upside. So I like Jonathan Taylor this week, but as your running back 2 or flex play. Number 25, I have J.K. Dobbins at Patriots. Like I was saying about Lamar, is I think they're just going to run all over this team because the Patriots cannot stop the run. And so I like J.K. Dobbins this week, given the fact that they might be really far up in this game and then they just keep handing the ball off. And Mark Ingram might not play, and I like J.K. Dobbins this week against the Patriots. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Just to let you guys know also that if you would like to comment down in the comment section about an idea what I should do on Saturdays, I'd love to hear it. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one.